Today, you talked to Purdy, and you talked to Purdy about something very specific that not every 49ers fan remembered from the game. I'm going to start off by playing a clip from the Pat McAfee show where George Kittle actually gets into a play where the Niners had a little bit of a miscommunication, a missed assignment, and how Brock Purdy responded to it. So let me just play this real quick.
Okay.
This week has been loud about Brock Purdy because of you.
Has it?
Yeah, because of you being on the team and Chris Zinn McCaffrey being on the team and Ayuk and Conley and Jennings and the offensive line and the talent. So now, what is Brock Purdy like behind the scenes? Does he hear this? And what do you guys try to talk to him about all the bullshit? He's only in his second year right now, George.
Well, one, I do a pretty good job of avoiding it unless my mom is sending me links that, hey, did you see what this person said? And I'm like, Mom, I'm trying not to see that stuff, but thank you so much. Brock's fantastic. He's been consistent every single time, every single day I see him. He's wonderful. I don't know if he listens to the noise. I don't know if he reads it. I don't know if his parents send the stuff. He doesn't act like it. He just seems pretty straightforward and straight ahead. Actually, like this past game, and I know it didn't go the exact way everyone thought the 49ers were going to play. It wasn't our best football by any means until you get to the fourth quarter. And then our offense, our defense, and our special teams are clicking when, hey, it matters most. And, hopefully that just rolls into the next game because, we found our rhythm there. But, Brock played really well when he had to. And there are also moments of the game where, Brock kind of expressed himself to our players. We had an MA somewhere and he's yelling at somebody. I'm like, that's what I need, Brock. I need you to yell at somebody.
Is that first time?
Not first time, but like whenever he gets like something happens like that where he gets to express himself, like there's a switch that flips. And the second after that, he was cooking. And so I was like, I'm not worried at all. Brock's on it. I'm good.
I love that second-year player holding people accountable. That's what you want out of your quarterback. Not always the easiest position.
Did you say second-year player? Second time in the NFC Championship?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He stinks, dude. He stinks.
That's what everybody does in their first 2 years, right? They just take teams to the NFC Championship games. That's totally fine.
It makes no sense, George. I am baffled by it all.
So that was a funny little segment there. And before I get your take on these two, let me just show the audience what you asked Brock today about that play.
Okay.
On the Ray looked like a missed assignment. It looked like you said, what are you doing? It looked like you guys had some harsh words, and then you guys were on the sideline talking about it. What happened exactly on that play, and what was the breakdown there?
Yeah, I'm just going through my progressions and from where I'm at with the pocket closing and stuff, I'm expecting him to be where he's supposed to be with the route that we had called on. The corner actually slipped that was guarding him, so he was trying to be smart and, throw up his hand and run the space, which I get. And so in the moment, I was like, man, you just got to be where you got to be, where I'm expecting you to be. But I totally understand what you're doing. If a guy falls, there's a big play to be made out there. So we had talked about it. And then we ended up on good terms and moving forward, we know what to expect out of each other and stuff. And we're in that moment again. So it's just communication. We're competitors in the heat of battle. Things like that happen. And we needed that, in that moment in the game. So that third down. So I had a little frustration come out and stuff, but it's nothing but love. I totally trust and respect Ray and what he's done, and we're going to get better from him.
Gotta love that guy, man. Not only does he not dodge, but he gives you a thoughtful explanation of that's absolutely the truth. And if you like straight shooters, you'd love Brock Purdy. He's a straight shooter. That was a direct, straight question. He didn't dodge it. He didn't try to make a joke of it. He didn't attack me as the questioner. He just answered it as best he could, and he gave a very, very good answer. He went through his progressions. The cornerback slipped. Ray, in seeing the cornerback slipped, tried to make a bigger play and move to the outside. And you just can't do that when a quarterback's going to throw the ball, with anticipation. Brock's making an anticipatory throw. Anticipatory throws only work if you are where you're supposed to be. And instead of being inside, Ray was outside. Greasy obviously knew Ray had made a mistake. He jumped up and down like the world was ending, and Brock screamed out, what are you doing? And I'm sure they got on the same page on the sideline, and you heard a little bit of what Ray, I'm sure, offered up as an explanation to Brock. And yet I love how Brock was very strong with it as far as, hey, man, bottom line is you got to be where you're supposed to be. That's simple as that. You got to be where you're supposed to be. And then he said, hey, it was a communication breakdown, and there's nothing but love for Ray, and it will make us better. And George made it seem like in his sit down with McAfee that moment, was not only a great thing for him to see, but it was that, they kind of took off from there. And Brock kind of made it seem like, hey, it needed to happen. Like he needed to confront Ray and have that little dust up. And I don't know if it was a dust up as much as, there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot on the line. And that was near the end of the game. And it could have potentially cost the Niners the game. So, I used to have one of the things when I worked in the Canadian League and I was doing lots of game reports, one of the things the coach would always say is, Larry, don't deviate. So and then that's probably ultimately what Brock and what the Niner offensive coaches are saying to Ray. Hey, Ray, don't deviate. If you're supposed to go 15 yards and turn inside, then go 15 yards and turn inside. If the guy goes to the ground, you still got to go 15 yards and turn inside. Why? Because that's where Brock thinks you're going to be. And instead of turning inside, he turned outside, but the ball was already being released. Brock couldn't adjust. And so it was a very, very costly incompletion on third down. And you don't get endless opportunities. So you've got to be where you've got to be. And Brock called him out. And I'm sure Ray, because I know Ray, I'm sure he was accountable. And Ray wants to win. Ray he said, Ray has told me so many great things about Brock that I don't worry at all about any kind of friction going forward for people who might be on that, going in that direction. It's not going to have a lasting thing. And if anything, it's just kind of emphasizes to Ray and the other receivers, you have to be, it's like, the old coach used to say, if I'm right and you're wrong, then we're wrong. But if I'm right and you're right, then we're right. And if I'm wrong and you're wrong, then we're right. In other words, we got to be on the same page. If you think you're going left and I think you're going left, that's fine. If you're supposed to go left, but you go right and I think you're going right, you're still okay. You just have to be in lockstep with your quarterback. The quarterback's got to know where you got to be. I mean, quarterback has to know where you're going to be. Brock Purdy makes these throws before these guys even come out of their break. If you're not really disciplined in your route running and you just start freelancing, it doesn't work. You can't make it up on the fly. So I thought it was an interesting situation and one that the cameras kind of caught. And then I just decided to ask Brock about it at the end and give him credit, man. The guy doesn't pull any punches. And he gave me how long was that answer? About a minute and a half explanation of what was going on there. Very thorough, very forthright. I mean, the guy sounded like he's 40 years old. Instead, he's 24. So
he did. He's so business. Like, I can't explain it any other way. It's almost like his job is working at the stock market, but he plays football. Like, he takes every interaction with the media, every interaction with the player. He's very locked in. Like, the people laugh, but the comparisons to like Tom Brady, the one thing that I see in Purdy that is similar to Brady is just the laser focus in every part of the game. Every time you see him on camera, he's focused. Like, he's just locked in. He's never laughing on the sidelines. Not that that's a bad thing, but he's just very focused, and like just the way he answered that question, it was almost like he was in a press conference with like CEOs of companies trying to. It was very buttoned up.
But you know what? No attitude, no dodging, no vilifying the questioner. Nothing like that. Some guys would be like, "Hey, man, you're making a big deal about nothing," or other guys would be like, "That's it, that's between me and Ray Ray," or what I mean. There's a ton of different ways to answer it, but Brock is so mature that he just says, "You know what? This guy came here with a thoughtful question. He knows I know what the hell I'm talking about. He knows my heart's in the right place. I'm rooting for them. It's not like I'm trying to. It wasn't a gotcha question. I gotcha, Brock, or I gotcha, Ray Ray, or I'm going to ask you." Sometimes people ask people to like, indirectly to like throw their teammate under the bus.
Yeah.
Was Ray Ray like? Here's the wrong way to ask that question. On that incompletion that you threw to Ray Ray, was Ray Ray in the wrong spot there? And was that on him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like you're assuming there's negative vibes, basically. You're assuming that there's negativity in that.
Right. Instead, don't ask the question with a preconceived, that you have a preconceived notion of the answer. Just ask the question fairly and get out of the way and let him talk. And I thought it was, I loved it. I thought it was great. And I appreciate Brock. I appreciate Ray Ray. And I appreciate the 49ers for giving me the opportunity to go into their pressers and ask some questions that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say it makes people look bad, but it doesn't make people look good because I'm highlighting a play that failed. But you know what? It was a point of interest. The cameras saw it. The fans have interest, and why not? To me, now when you see highlights of Brock yelling, "What are you doing?" You won't think, "Oh, I wonder if the 49ers have bad vibes." No, he just laid it out there for you, the entire situation and what happened and how he got to that point. And he even owned his own anger. That was the other part of it. He's like, "Yeah, I got a whatever the way he phrased it, but it's like he admitted that it bothered him and that, so I love the guy, man. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. I also think he's a great face of the franchise. He's mature beyond his years. I hate the saying because it's kind of corny, but the people say, "Oh, this person's good people." Brock Purdy's good people, and Ray Ray. I love Ray Ray too, man. There ain't nobody realer than Ray Ray. And if I went to him at his locker tomorrow and I said, "Hey, what went on there, man? Brock was yelling at you, and you guys were talking it out on the sideline," he would explain it too. So that's what I love about the Niners, man. It's for the most part, man, it's a bunch of straight shooters.